Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to enter an amazing world, a world that exists all around us, even inside your glass of water, your cup of tea, and even in the air you breathe. Yes, today's chapter is called The Amazing World of Solutes, Solvents, and Solutions. Let me ask you something. Have you ever added sugar to tea and watched it disappear? Or mixed salt in water and seen it vanish? Where did it go? Did it disappear or did it mix? That mystery is exactly what we are going to uncover today. In this chapter, we will learn about mixtures and solutions, solutes and solvents, concentration, solubility, and density. By the end of this lesson, you will start seeing science in your daily life everywhere. Let us begin with a simple question. What is a solution? A solution is a uniform mixture of two or more substances. Now listen carefully to the word uniform. Uniform means everything is mixed so well that you cannot see the different parts separately. For example, when you mix salt in water, the salt disappears and spreads evenly throughout the water. That is a solution. Sugar in tea is also a solution. Alcohol in water is another example. But do you know something interesting? Even air is a solution. Yes, air is made up of different gases like nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. Nitrogen is present in the largest amount. So, nitrogen acts as the solvent, while oxygen and other gases act as solutes. Now, think about this. If we mix sand in water, is that a solution? No, it is not, because sand settles at the bottom and does not mix uniformly. That means it is a non-uniform mixture, not a solution. Now let us understand the two main parts of every solution. Every solution has a solute and a solvent. The solute is the substance that dissolves, like salt or sugar. The solvent is the substance that dissolves the solute, like water or alcohol. So always remember this simple idea. Solute plus solvent makes a solution. For example, salt plus water makes salt water, and sugar plus water makes a sweet solution. Now, here are some helpful rules to identify solute and solvent. When a solid and a liquid are mixed, the solid is the solute and the liquid is the solvent. For example, salt in water. When two liquids are mixed, the liquid present in smaller quantity is usually the solute. For example, alcohol mixed in water. And when gases mix with gases, the gas present in the largest quantity becomes the solvent. In air, nitrogen is the solvent because it is present in the highest amount. There is also an interesting special case. Think about gulab jamun in sugar syrup and the well. Even though there is a lot of sugar present, water is still considered the solvent. That makes science even more interesting. Solutions can be of different types depending on what is mixed. When a solid dissolves in a liquid, like salt in water or sugar in tea, it is called a solid in liquid solution. When a liquid mixes with another liquid, like vinegar in water or alcohol in water, it is called a liquid in liquid solution. When gases mix with gases or dissolve in liquids, like oxygen dissolved in water or carbon dioxide dissolved in soda, it is called a gas solution. There is also something very special about water. Water is called the universal solvent because it can dissolve more substances than any other liquid. So, now let us imagine another situation. Suppose you add 1 spoon of salt to water and it dissolves. You add another spoon and it also dissolves. This type of solution is called an unsaturated solution. That means more solute can still dissolve in it. But what happens if you keep adding more and more salt? After some time, salt stops dissolving and starts settling at the bottom. Now the solution becomes a saturated solution. That means it cannot dissolve any more solute. But here is an interesting trick. What if we heat the solution? When temperature increases, more solute dissolves again and the solution becomes unsaturated once more. So temperature plays an important role in dissolving substances. Now let us talk about concentration. Concentration tells us how much solute is present in a solution. If there is a small amount of solute in a large amount of solvent, we call it a dilute solution. For example, 1 spoon of sugar in 200 milliliters of water is a dilute solution. But if there is a large amount of solute in a small amount of solvent, we call it a concentrated solution. For example, 5 spoons of sugar in 100 milliliters of water is a concentrated solution. Remember that dilute and concentrated are relative terms. One solution may be dilute compared to another and concentrated compared to a third. So always compare solutions carefully. Now we come to solubility. Solubility means the maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in a fixed amount of solvent at a given temperature. Temperature affects solubility in interesting ways. When temperature increases, the solubility of most solids increases. That means more sugar dissolves in hot water than in cold water, but gases behave differently. Gas solubility decreases when temperature increases. That means cold water can hold more oxygen than hot water. This is why fish prefer cold, deep water, because it contains more dissolved oxygen. Now let us understand density and why some objects float while others sink. Density is defined as mass divided by volume. Water has a density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Objects with density less than water float and objects with density greater than water sink. For example, oil floats on water because its density is less than water. Ice also floats because it is less dense than water. But stones and iron sink because their density is greater than water. This explains many everyday observations around us. To calculate density, we need to measure mass and volume. Mass is the amount of matter in an object and is measured using a balance, such as a beam balance or an electronic balance. The unit of mass is gram or kilogram. One important fact is that mass does not change with location or shape. Volume, on the other hand, is the space occupied by an object. Liquids are measured using a measuring cylinder. When reading a measuring cylinder, we always read the bottom of the curved surface called the meniscus to get accurate readings. For solid objects, we use the displacement method. First, we fill the measuring cylinder with water to a known level. Then we place the solid object into the water. The water level rises. The difference between the new level and the old level gives the volume of the object. This method is simple but very clever. Science becomes even more exciting when we connect it to real life. Fish breathe oxygen that is dissolved in water. If water becomes too hot, less oxygen dissolves in it and fish may die. Fizzy drinks contain carbon dioxide dissolved under pressure. When you open the bottle, pressure decreases and bubbles form. Ships float even though they are made of metal because they are hollow and their overall density becomes less than water. In the Dead Sea, water contains a very high amount of salt. This increases the density of water, allowing people to float easily without swimming. Now let us quickly revise with some thinking questions. Is air a solution? Yes, air is a solution, and nitrogen acts as the solvent. What happens when too much sugar is added to tea? The solution becomes saturated and extra sugar settles at the bottom. Why is a measuring cylinder narrow and tall? Because its shape helps us take more accurate readings. Why does oil float on water? Because oil is less dense than water. And how can we increase the solubility of baking soda? By heating the solution. Today we explored an amazing world around us. We learned about solutes and solvents, different types of solutions, saturated and unsaturated solutions, concentration, solubility, and density. Always remember that science is not just inside textbooks. It is present in your morning tea, in the water you drink, in the air you breathe, and in many everyday activities. Keep observing, keep questioning, and keep learning. And now, congratulations. You have successfully explored and understood the amazing world of solutions.